Mrs. Gies, you're visiting us from Holland. What has been happening in Holland in the last couple of years?
The last couple of years in Holland and in Germany, the Jews, they're being sent, well, not just Jews and gypsies and anyone with a mental or physical defect, they are being shipped out in these cattle cars to so-called labor camps. But no one is seeing them come out, and we're seeing thousands going in.
So, what do you think is actually happening?
Well, the rumors are that they're being killed.
Well, in light of that, what you're doing right now seems remarkably brave. From what I understand, you are actually hiding several Jewish families.
Yes, ma'am, I am. I actually am hiding my boss, Mr. Otto Frank, his wife, and his two daughters, Margaret and Anne Frank. Well, that was the first family I started to hide, and then later on, Mr. Frank asked me to help Mr. Fritz Becker and also the Van Pels with their son. He's a teenager also, and his name is Peter, and then also Peter brought his cat, Mushy.
Brought his cat.
Yes.
You told me at one point that Anne was not happy about that.
No, she's not very happy because Mr. Frank would not allow Anne to bring her cat because of the noise and trying to be quiet.
So it's not fair that Peter brought his. Yes, well, I can see that. Well, now, how are you hiding them? Where are they? And how do they stay quiet enough that they're not caught?
Well, Mr. Frank, I work for him, and he owns a pesting store or gym. And, well, the laboratory is not being used right now because nothing's needing to be made. So they are in the laboratory, and, well, it's a secret annex. And we put a bookshelf or casing in front of it, so where the workers can't really, they're not going to notice it. And so they're up there, and they're not allowed to make any noise, of course, between when the work hours are going on until the 6 o'clock bell rings the tower. And that's when they know they're allowed to move around.
Well, what if someone gets sick and is coughing? Or what if you mentioned the cat making noise?
Well, actually, Mr. Frank's oldest daughter, Margaret, has been sick, and without looking so suspicious, I'm having to get medicine and healthy things to get her healthy again.
Keep her from coughing.
Yes.
Where do the employees think Mr. Frank has gone?
Well, Mr. Frank, when this happened, his daughter, Margaret, got a summons to go into the concentration or the labor camps, and so they think left the country because he wrote a note, and if anyone found it, it would look like he left the country, except for that's how Mr. Pepper found him in the Van Pels because it was encoding, and they knew exactly what each word meant.
So it was Mr. Frank who actually approached you and asked if you would hire him. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
This is an incredible risk. You know, if the Nazis catch you, you'll probably be killed. Why are you willing to take that kind of a risk for them?
Well, actually, when I was younger, my family couldn't afford to feed or keep me well. I got sick with bronchitis, and my home country is Austria, and that's when we had a war going on, and my family didn't have enough money. Well, since everything was scarce, they didn't have money to help keep me healthy. So I was adopted by another family, and they were just a regular middle-class family. And since they gave me the chance and opportunity to keep on with my life and they gave me everything possible, I decided that I should, in return, help some other family.
Pass on the favor. But aren't you frightened?
Well, I know what will happen, but by the time I'm worried about 8 people, by the time I get home, I just want to go to sleep. I don't have time to worry about what's going to happen.
That's remarkable. I've heard you say that you're only doing what anyone else under the same circumstances but that's not true. Most people don't have the courage to stand up in the face of wrong the way you are, and that's just remarkable. So thank you for that. We have one more guest tonight who is in a way doing something similar, standing up in the face of wrong in the United States.